Hey everyone, in today's video we'll try and answer the age-old question, where does Coeptus go after the update? Does he actually vanish and take a break and come back after a month and a half or 2 months to start working on an update? Or does he actually work behind the scenes? Let's get right into the video. So if you want a short answer, no, Coeptus does not disappear. But if you want to find out what he does, you might want to keep watching this video because I'll explain 6 things Coeptus does when he's not publishing an update. So the first thing is the dev forum. So there is a forum for developers where they help each other out and they give each other tips on what to do better. Coeptus is very active on there. That's also where he publishes the update logs, and he's just constantly trying to educate himself, trying to get better at working, or at least his job, because Bloxburg is probably his main job because it takes up so much time. So there's that. And he's very busy on there trying to help out others, trying to be helped, and trying to find solutions to problems that he has. Now, before we continue, I do want to say some people in the comments will probably be like, oh my god, you're protecting Coeptus for everything he does, like he's not perfect and stuff like that. I know he's not perfect, and I'm definitely not behind Coeptus on every decision. The main example that pops into my head right now is the water slide update in September. I disagreed with that so hard, but it happened. I'm just not the type of person to go like on YouTube and make a video of like, Coeptus exposed, he didn't listen to when I said I didn't want a water slide update in September. I'm not a person to do that because drama leads to nothing, and usually there's like a lot of fake stories in that and stuff like that. So it makes no sense to make drama over something like that. Then number 2, and that one takes up a lot more time, that is developing and testing. So basically, when Coeptus is done coding and trying to work out his stuff, I keep saying he because in my head he is a he. But Coeptus could be a she or a they. I don't know that. But let's say he for now, because in my head it's a he. But developing and testing. So when Coeptus is done coding, or Froggy has made new objects or something that needs interaction, Coeptus needs to fix that, work on that. That's also where we as the testers come in. We need to test things that Coeptus does before he publishes it to the main game. Those things include stuff like riding a bike, like the animation of what it looks like, or the cooking animation, or I mean, an example of what you could have seen in game of something that clearly did not work was the plastic pool water that Coeptus tried to fix a lot, but then ultimately he went back to the normal pool water because that was kind of a miss. And may I kindly remind you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Then number 3 is rewriting the game's code. So Bloxburg is a lot of code. There's more than 100,000 lines of code from the last time I asked him, and that was like 3 years ago, so by now it's probably a lot more. And code sometimes doesn't work, so code has to be rewritten, code has to be adapted, and sometimes you write something in a lot of code, like if you're programming something into the game and then you find out that there's something that you can do that makes your code a lot shorter and actually doesn't really affect what it looks like or what the end product is like, then you change that code. One wrong letter and your code is done for. So yeah, that's a lot of work as well. That's where he spends a lot of his time as well, probably coding, because if your code isn't right, the game doesn't work. Then number 4 is Roblox changing physics and Coeptus having to adapt to that. So one main example of that is, for example, when we had the plastic pool water, suddenly it started glitching out. We had these weird images popping up all over the water. If you had a large pool at your plot, the game would lag like crazy, like everyone in that server would lag because of that water. That was because Roblox changed some physics and Coeptus had to adapt to that. But that happens a lot actually, where Roblox changes something and then the developers have to adapt to that or the game will break. That's why some games that haven't been updated in a long time just don't work anymore or don't work at all. And then number 5, and that's something we probably don't think about enough, but that's brainstorming and weighing options. So as mentioned before, the water slide update in September was a little bit weird, but Coeptus probably constantly has to brainstorm with himself for what to bring to the table next, or what the next update could be without taking too long. For example, if they start working on a new town, how can they work on that while still bringing some updates so that people don't complain about the game dying and people quitting and Coeptus being lazy and stuff like that? How can they do that without losing too much time on actually working on a new map, for example. And that's something they constantly have to weigh. And also, like, what items will the next update be about, or what theme do we want to go in, what's lacking in the game, where can I improve, stuff like that. Constantly thinking about that. So that must be a stress factor as well, and something that takes up a lot of time too. And then number 6 is watching socials to learn more about the community. So it's not because Coeptus doesn't retweet everything he sees or likes everything he sees that he's not up to date with the community. He's actually pretty active on social media from what I've seen, and he's constantly trying to see where the community is going, what the community is asking for. I'm sure he looks through Discord servers as well to see what the community is talking about, just to learn more about the player base and what the players are actually like playing Bloxburg. And I know not every Bloxburg player is on social media, but Coeptus knows that as well, and so he tries to make everyone happy, and sometimes that doesn't work out, sometimes it does work out, but people will always complain whether there is no update for 2 months, whether there is an update every week, whether the entire game changes. Some people will always complain, so he can't really make everyone happy. But I just wanted to make this video because a lot of people think Coeptus is actually lazy and disappears for a month and a half to, I don't know, go on vacation to Thailand or something and then come back to quickly push an update to the game. No, that's really not how it works. There's a lot of work, thoughts, and tears behind it, and I'm pretty sure he's busy every single day. And you have to keep in mind that he's the only dev for Welcome to Bloxburg. Froggy Hops makes objects for the game. Coeptus makes sure that they work, so only 2 people are actually truly working on the game. Like, the testers don't do that much, like, we're not that impactful as you might think, but honestly, they work a lot. So anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope this cleared some things up and you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.